Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Wherever you are, remember, you have greatness inside of you. Welcome back to another Habs Daily News with your hockey coach guru, Coach Frenchy. Today, episode number 155. What do you have on the menu, Coach, today? First of all, preview game between Arizona versus Montreal. I'm going to give you some information, Habs news update. Then I'm going to talk about Caufield. New contract. Finally, I'm going to give you all the injury update around the NHL. So don't go nowhere. And let's dive into talking about the first subject of the day. The first subject of the game, guys, of course, is the preview game between the Arizona Coyotes versus the Montreal Canadiens. It's the same roster for Martin St. Louis. The only change is only between the pipes. Jake Allen returned with the Montreal Canadiens. Is going to starter for the Montreal. Then I want to talk about a little bit some stats for both teams. First of all, the Arizona are 38.5 on power play. They are third in NHL. But the Montreal Canadiens are 8th with 91.7% on PKs. One team is great on power play. One team is awesome on PK. The second thing I want to talk about is Arizona. The shot again, they allow over 40 shots per game since the beginning of the season, and their face-off is only 42%. So what this showed to me is this part. First of all, they barely win the face-off, so they don't have a lot of puck possession during the game. This is a good advantage for Montreal. They are really good since the beginning of the season. Secondly, they allow too many shots, so Montreal Canadiens should take advantage of this stat to have some kind of more goals during the game. And Arizona, if they continue to be that way, they're not going to win a lot of W during the season. On the Montreal Canadiens, guys, the team stat, I want to show to you some analytics I like to get from Jay Fresh. First of all, the percentage of 5 versus 5 shot attempt against block. Look, Montreal, number 2. 32.4, and the number 1 player in NHL right now with 23 block shot is David Savard. So they give you an idea where the Montreal Canadiens are really good on block shot. Arizona are 28 with only 20.6%. So Montreal Canadiens is a really great on defensive zone coverage to block shot. Second stat I want to talk about, guys, is the percentage of 5 versus 5 shot attempt taken by defensemen. Montreal is not too bad at all. They are number 9 in NHL, 36.1%. They try to shoot the puck to the net from the defenseman. That said, at that moment, they are hitting the net all the time. But compared to any other team, that's pretty good stuff for the Montreal Canadiens. On the flip side, where they struggle a bit is the percentage of 5 versus 5 shot attempt on the net. And Montreal global with the forward plus the defense, they are only 26 at 48.8. And one thing I would say to you about this, Montreal need to shoot the puck more. Sometimes on the power play, they pass the puck too much. They don't try to attempt the shot. If you do this, that we get possibly have more rebound and the player in front of the net could have more goals. So something I'm trying to get better. So I just want to share with you guys some statistics between both teams. Now, we know Montreal Canadiens overall, they are better players. But it's a game where Montreal cannot lose. They not let slip this one between their hands. They need to take advantage, like maybe called like an easy game or a team where they are almost the same level like a Montreal Canadiens. So Montreal Canadiens should, in my eyes, win that W by the score of 4-2 tonight against the Arizona Coyotes. Leave me a comment, tell me what it would be the final score between both teams, and let's move on now for the next subject of the day. My next subject, guys, is about the Montreal Canadiens news. First of all, I want to mention to you, SLAFKOVSKY got a new BLF family. Montreal Canadiens decide to give better chance for SLAFKOVSKY. Don't have to be worried to stay at the hotel or to stay with her teammate, to be better for him to be with a special family. Do you have to be worried about the meal, the traveling, or whatsoever it is. So it'll be more easier for his transition to be with 1 year with the same family. Jordan Harris and Albert Jacquet are going to live together. They're going to have an apartment. Whatsoever, all three players could return with Laval Rocket. That's not change because Laval Rocket is a couple of miles from the Bell Center. So whatsoever they live on the west side of the Montreal, he can stay there, whatever they stay or not with the Montreal Canadiens. The second thing I want to talk is the Laval Rocket finally won their first W against the Thunderbird by the score of 2-0. Great performance. Caden Primo got his first shutout. Gabriel Bourque was the goal-winning game for the Laval Rocket. Then I want to talk about Philippe Mézard. Philippe Mézard finally we knew he was returning an OHL play for the Kitchener Rangers. The general manager, Mike McKenzie, announced he is going to start Philippe Mézard. This debut is going to be Friday with them. We know they have some kind of problem, not a visa, but some paperwork from the IIHA for the transfer, and they have to push back a little bit more days before they announce he was completely now done. They expect him to play with Pinelli. Pinelli was a second-round draft for the Los Angeles Kings in 2022, so it'll be interesting to see Philippe Mézard. Go to follow him for sure, guys. Like any other Habs prospect, we do a report every week, every Monday morning. Caden Cooley announced Martin Saint-Louis is going to use him on the unit number 2 power play for the Montreal Canadiens for the next game against the Arizona Coyotes. It's another promotion for him. Cooley, the best player, honestly, last game on the ice for both teams between Pittsburgh and Montreal, play over 24 minutes. He's really impressive since the beginning of the season, and Martin Saint-Louis has kind of trust and really believe on him. He said the most important thing for him is Caden have an amazing, great confidence and believe on himself. He's really calm. What situation? He's really good to adapt himself with the play in NHL so far since the beginning of the season. This concludes, guys, all the Habs news we have for you. And let's move on for the next subject of the day. My next subject of the day, guys, is about Cole Caufield contract. We know he's at the end of his ELC. He have to get an extension next season. He's going to be a RFA. His agent is Pat Brisson. They worked very well with Ken Hughes in the past and Jeff Gordon. I don't see any problem. But now we start the season. When do you sign him? Right now, are you in the rush to sign him? Do you sign him during the year, or you wait until next season or at the end of the season to give him or offer him a contract? Let's talk a little bit more. First of all, Cole Caufield have 25 goals, guys, in the last 41 game in NHL. That gave him a total of 50 goals if you multiply by 2 a regular season in NHL. And I want to compare him with other players. They got new contract in the last couple of years. And first of all, let's start with Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki have $7.85 million for 8 years. This contract starts already this season. I believe a center usually make a little bit more money compared to the winger. That's happening for each team. It's been this way in NHL. The NHL announced a couple of days ago, or it was yesterday, guys, the NHL announced they're going to increasing the salary cap possibly next year, 2 years, at the point where they're going to reach 86, 90 and $92 million for the next 3 years. For me, that's not change the value of Cole Caufield, whatever the salary cap increasing. I just gave a little bit better way for Montreal to have more players make more money. And I would compare with Jason Robinson. Robinson signed a couple of weeks ago a contract at $7.75 million for 4 years. Robinson, 23 years old. He just got a 41 goal season with 79 points in 74 games. A little bit what Caufield can reach at some point at young age is only 21 years old, going to turn 22 January 2nd. Now, another player I want to compare is DeBrincat. DeBrincat is 24 years old. He complete this season his last year of his contract at $6.4 million. He just signed a 3 years contract when he was with Chicago. So next year, at 25 years old, the DeBrincat is going to have definitely a $7 million. It's going to be RFA for 2 more years. My point to you, why to compare them? Because they are in the same situation, the DeBrincat with Caufield right now, because Caufield is a 21 years old. He's not going to stop the scoring. I'm telling you right now, it's almost guaranteed. At least he get hurt. Otherwise, he's going to produce at least 35 goals this upcoming season. For me, here's my situation with Caufield. They have 2 options. Brisson can look with Ken Hughes. A 3 years contract at $7 million. That'll bring him at 24, 25 years old at the end of this contract. That will give him a 2 years, possibly 1 year minimum at 2 years RFA. And then he's going to get a minimum almost $8 million before he become a UFA. That would be an option for Pat Brisson for Cole Caufield. The other option you can go, guys, is about the Cole Caufield at $7.75 million, a little bit cheaper at Nick Suzuki, and a contract at 8 years. We know he's a bit younger at Nixky when he got his contract. So he's going to complete at about 29 years old, 30 years old. That'll be another option. Now that'll give them a security for Cole Caufield a long term. This is for me the two options you can give to Cole Caufield if I was Pat Brisson to the Montreal Canadiens, and Montreal Canadiens will decide what is the best for them. I expect him, Cole Caufield, between $7 million and $8 million, whatever is a 3 years contract or an 8 years contract. This complete, guys, another subject of the day. Let's move on for the next one of this episode 155. The next subject of the day, guys, is the NHL injury update. The Detroit Red Wings announced the player Rena enter in the player assistant program. Obviously for him, we don't know how long he will be out. This is really not good for the Detroit Red Wings. Colorado Avalanche, they announced their captain Gabriel Lestagard is going to be at least 12 weeks out with a surgery on one of his knee. The Florida Panthers announced their best defenseman Aaron Ekblad is on the LTIR. Look like it's not going to be too many weeks. Toronto announced they put Mazen only on ER, so it could be a couple, possibly 7 to 10 days. It's going to be reevaluated with an upper body injury. Washington, two-player Connor Brown is on the ER, another minimum weeks to weeks. And then they confirm now the Agelen is going to be on the long-term injury reserve. And this guy complete all the NHL injury update. Wow, what a great episode. Abs Daily News with the hockey coach, Joel Cole-Franchi, episode number 155. Before we leave, we invite you, please, I ask you, click on the likes. That will be helping us. Sharing this, tell to the people. If you like my video, Abs Daily News, that'd be great. And finally, leave me a comment. I respond to each one of you. And finally, of course, remember, you have greatness inside of you. And I wish you an amazing, great, blessing day. And of course, a great game. Montreal versus the Arizona Coyotes tonight, 7 o'clock p.m. Yes, I'm doing the play-by-play live streaming, of course, for the Hockey Nation Live Show.